Elle, that was not our regular intro vid now, was it?
Maybe it was.
Maybe? Is that our new intro vid
Possibly was.
for the House of Nerd show? Thank you everybody for coming through. Yes, we're live at a special time. How you feeling? Another afternoon start time for you.
Mm-hmm.
You see how considerate, how thoughtful I
I
am.
had to push it because football is so important in my life. Go Canada, am I right?
Despite the loss that we took today, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be 100% with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
The energy is just not. I'm so drained right now.
That's so crazy because
entirely
as soon as it
dejected.
came out of your mouth, my morale went up. I said,
Yeah.
"I'm hyped. Let's do this."
Yeah, it's because you live that hater life, baby.
Forever.
You live that hater
Number
life, man.
forever.
Man, oh listen, hey, but no, you know what? We are excited. I'm bumming right now, but I am excited. We are excited. We got a dope indie spotlight plan for you guys today. What you saw there, that was Misty Graves' trailer for her new Kickstarter project, currently live. Misty Graves' Book of Fates. So we got some dope graves. We got Misty Graves coming on. We got Sean Peacock. We got Kevin Anthony Catalan coming on, talking their self-published books. Very excited for that. How you doing now? How you doing?
It's like deja vu, huh? Like we just did this yesterday.
I know. It's weird. 2 shows in one weekend. It feels yeah, it's weird.
Actually, I'm gonna be real with you. I did all of my work ahead of time.
Hmm?
So I'm telling you with the way I just woke up. I just woke up.
Just
Well, I
woke
mean, I
up.
got
It's
up
like,
this
it's
morning
like 2
to.
p.m. What's wrong with you?
I took. On the weekends I get up at 4:30. So I went and did what I need to do. Came home and then I said, I don't have to do anything. So I went to sleep until like 10 minutes ago. So it was nice. We should always go on at 2:00.
No. We're going. I think next weekend, folks, we're going back to our regular 11 a.m. start time. You know what? Just for you, Al, let's do a 7 a.m. Eastern start time, bright and early on a Sunday.
You know what? I'll probably be up that time. You know what I mean? Like I'll already be up.
So that'll be what 4 a.m. West Coast for you. So, you know.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do the show because I wouldn't be home. But
okay, ratings would go up.
Just like they're up today.
Oh my God!
Canada lost, and everybody says we don't even want to see this. They don't want to see you cry.
Shout out Bleecker Street Comics. Thank you for coming through, fellow Canuck, fellow Canadian. Man, it's tough, man. And we started out so good. We had Canada scored their goal 90, not even 90 seconds into the match. So I said, it's our time to shine, and then we ended up 4-1, man. Oof. You know. Cookie, happy Sunday. Thanks for coming through. We're excited. We're talking indie comics. Who that?
Philip.
Say his name like that.
You know,
Put some gumption into
not
it.
proper.
You know? It's Philly. It's Philly Phil. Government name. Get out of here.
You know what's so funny? The other day I was
like, what's going on, baby? How you doing, my man?
The other day I asked him, I was like, I feel like I keep calling you Philip, and I can't remember if the joke was that wasn't your first name or if the Philly part wasn't really from Philadelphia, and I forgot, and I felt bad. But his name is Philip.
You're a weirdo.
I know. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah.
It made me feel bad.
Hey, folks, if you guys missed it, we had a fantastic interview with Mr. Hassan Otsman El yesterday, award-winning comic book letter. Man, how great was that?
We finally got a head reveal.
Got a head. I think you're going to someone else.
The hat came off for the first time on live. It was a surprise. Notice I didn't say anything. I was like, I'm gonna be respectful in this moment. I'm gonna let him shine. Yeah. Just like the back of his head. And
don't make it into a thing. It's not a thing.
It's not a thing. You're making it into a thing.
But I'm not.
But I will say, you playing that clip from the last, from when he was on the Nerdies, and I was like, I'm glad you ditched that the top hat. Because it was cutting your silhouette, the frame of your head. It was cutting it in a way where it made it look like you just had a cone head.
Yeah, I looked at it, I said, what was I thinking? Yeah. Not even like a fancy New Year's hat. That's just like some weird
it was the way it was shaped. And I remember you saying it was like plastic, and you were just like, so it was a fun clip there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know what? We got 4 years. Next World Cup is Canada, U.S., Mexico. So we'll get them. We're on the come up. Canada's on the come up. Folks, today we got three fantastic creators. We're talking their indie books. Let's bring them on out. Elle, if you can bring them on in for me, por favor. Who we got?
You're putting me on the spot. Hold on.
Yeah, you gotta be ready. Come on, let's go, man. We got Kevin, Anthony, we got Sean, Peacock, Misty Graves. What's going on?
Hey, y'all.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to the house. Thank you so much for coming through. Excited to talk. We got some dope folks. And when I say dope, I'm excited to talk about these books. Each one of them. Super cool. Why don't we start out at the top there? You guys introduce yourselves. Let us know what your comic book origin story is and what your book is. All that good stuff, man. You know, we want to know your astrological sign, your color. You know, do you like long walks on the beach? All that. Hit us. What's going
on? What's up? My name's Sean. I'm an Aries.
Okay.
No, my name is Sean Peacock. I'm from like the Metro Detroit area. I grew up loving comics my whole life, and I went to the College of Creative Studies in Detroit, which is where I kind of like really focused myself on making comics, and eventually I made this Peppermint Desert, which is my debut self-published work, this psychedelic road trip story about these two bandits fleeing from the devil. It's got, you know, hell, gunfights, rock and roll, fast cars. It's all there. And I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hey, we're excited to have you, and we're definitely going to get into some Peppermint Desert. Kevin, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. My name is Kevin Anthony Catalan. I'm based here at San Francisco, Bay Area. I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay.
I was trained by my dad to draw. He was an animator, but I did comics because that is much faster than animation to tell stories. I went to San Francisco State University to study fine art, and I took some comics classes, but comics has always been my thing since I was a kid. I made my debut comic, Space Knights, right here. This is the second printing. Okay. It's about, I'm going to read it back. It's the epic space fantasy anthology featuring 3 different stories taking place within the same universe, plagued by war, cults, religious inquisition, and corporate-sponsored genocide. So, that's my little
Hey, man. And super dope. Excited to get into that one as well. Misty, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Now your third time on the show.
Yeah,
Love
we're
it.
like we go way back now.
Way back.
Yes, yes, I'm getting more comfortable minute by minute.
Oh, I love it. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. So Misty, what book are you here to talk to us about today?
Okay, so I am here to talk about Misty Gray's Book of Fates, which is an EC horror comic inspired tale of a woman who finds a magic book in an antique store, and it gives her the power to, well, it tells the story of everything that's ever happened in the world. And she can go through chapter by chapter and sort of influence the timeline by telling people about their futures and seeing if they want to take a different path. So it's kind of like a ghost of Christmas future, ghost of Christmas present, Christmas Carol type situation, mixed with a little Back to the Future, but it's also EC horror inspired as well. So the stories are meant to be sort of controversial, but still fun and funny and kind of campy and inspired by a lot of the creators that I really like and I've always enjoyed, sort of like John Waters and Mel Brooks and Alfred Hitchcock, stuff like that. So that is what Misty Gray's Book of Fates is about. And the Kickstarter is happening, so I don't have an actual book to hold up and show you guys. Oh, but I can show you the Kickstarter on my iPad that's disappearing.
Yeah, but that's okay, Mister, because we've got some slides. We're gonna get to that. Yeah, excited to get in, and I just backed the book last night. Super excited. I encourage everybody to check out the Kickstarter as well as the other books we'll be talking about. So, folks, the links where you can get more information on these books, they are in the description of the video. Definitely check them out when you get the chance. We've got some slides here. And I think first up we got Sean's book.
Hey,
Peppermint Desert. Listen, folks, I'm telling you with all sincerity, man. Like, each one of these books, super dope, super cool. I love the look of this book, man. It's so, like, this retro 50s candy colored, aesthetic, which I'm all about. Sean, please, what's the synopsis? Hit the folks. Let them know how about this. This very cool comic that you've got.
Yeah, so the main characters of Peppermint Desert are these two bandits and best friends named Mickey and Saturday. They have this kind of strange, elusive superpower of luck. Basically, if you're familiar with like Domino from the X-Men, they have her power, which is like in any given situation, anything that needs to go their way can go their way. And they use that power to rob banks and become career criminals. And just when they decide that they want to turn over a new leaf, they decide to use their powers to rob one last casino and give all of that money to an orphanage in the middle of this desolate place called the Peppermint Desert. Yeah. And when they get to the desert, they find a devil on their trail who sees their sins, sees their luck powers as a cosmic fluke, and wants to drag them to hell to torture them for all eternity. So it's them outrunning this force of nature and then also kind of coming to terms with the nature of their own powers and what they really want out of their lives. And it's all within 40 pages. It's very action-packed and, as you say, candy-colored and as fun as I can make it.
and it absolutely is a whole bunch of fun from really, I think I came across your Twitter page just really randomly. It came up on my feed, and it was one of the pages, one of the interior pages, and immediately just super attracted to it. Love the color palette, and you got muscle cars. It's psychedelic trip. You know, really is accurate to say, you know, inspired, you know, those 50s. You know, you got the wingtip shoes, you know, the bebop hair, all that good stuff. A lot of fun. Where did the inspiration for this come from, man? Where did this, you know, what were the
Yeah.
beginnings of this?
From a few places. I mean, like, I think I am a big David Lynch fan, and so like Twin Peaks lit my mind on fire when I was in high school, and then his movie Wild at Heart with Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern was kind of like one of the places where I'm like, oh, like two idiots in the American West with like a crazy old car. That was fun. And then like also like I'm from Dearborn, which is where the Ford Motor Company kind of began. So there's a lot of like celebration of old cars and kind of old fashion aesthetics here. And I also just love like weird psychedelic stuff. The summer before I made this, I watched like Faster Pussycat Kill and was getting like really into all of this kind of like mid-century stuff. And I'm always just fascinated by like period settings in general, whether it's like the 50s or the Victorian era, or it's like if, you know, if somebody's wearing a shirt with a collar, I'm into it. Yeah, it was just kind of a sandbox where I got to play with all these aesthetics that are super appealing to me. And I was in an art school setting where I had like the time and resources to really like dive into it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just take a look at that. I love that, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Super psychedelic. It's a trip, and I think it was Bleecker Street. You know, I also got a Fear and Loathing.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah,
Which,
for
fair to
sure.
say, you know, maybe some inspiration from the book and the film.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
The book for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool stuff, man. So what, like, where can folks check this out now? You mentioned self-published. Did you have it on Kickstarter, or like?
I didn't do Kickstarter. I kind of you know, put the entire like making of this book on social media as it was happening, and luckily like I got like my friends and people in my own like Detroit art community, as well as just people like you who found me on the internet by chance, kind of paying attention. So by the time I put it out, I bought like a small print run from a local comics printer based out of Plymouth, Michigan. And I did 100 copies, sold them all. I've been ordering more. You can find them for sale on my website, allstarros.com/store. And I've got them in print and digital editions. So trying to make it as available as possible.
Folks, definitely, man. You know, we're showing you some interior pages here, but it doesn't do the book, the art, you know, how the colors pop justice, really. Whether you get this book digitally or physically, man, I think you'll really be able to appreciate it. And Bleecker, yeah, I love the art he's saying, for sure.
Thank you so much.
I always have so much. It's impressive, super, like, lots of respect for, you know, your writing, you're on art duties, you're coloring, you're lettering. So you really, this is your baby. You're doing it all. Anytime I see that, I can only imagine, you know, just the amount of work and love that went into something like this, man. It's a trip, man. You're living the nerd's dream, you know?
Yeah. It was the whole thing. Definitely, while I was making it, is, you know, like art school is already like such a precarious decision for some people, and then within art school to be like, okay, my focus is going to be comics, is like a kind of an insane thing to do. So for someone like me who's made the decisions I have, for it to turn out this well, like, that was good. But also, yeah, like the whole time I was working on it with that in mind, there was like a kind of like thought in my head of like, well, even if I crash and burn, at least right now I'm making a super fucking sick comic, and and
Yeah.
I'll always have that when it's over.
I dig it. So you got your two main characters, Mickey and Saturday.
Yes.
They're career criminals. Like, I would almost put them now, like, but they're on this journey that they're trying to do something good now. You mentioned They've got like this one last heist. It also the story opens up in like Las Vegas esque setting. I think what is it, Beat City? You
Beat
called
City,
it?
yeah.
That's cool. So career criminals, but they were trying to turn over a new leaf.
Yeah.
So this big job they're about to pull, and they want to help out this orphanage. This home for wayward kids or whatever you want to call them, which happens to be out in this dangerous place in the middle of nowhere called the Peppermint Desert, which is, I think you put it, the Peppermint Desert is where the borders of hell and earth are thinnest.
Yeah,
right?
where they overlap. Yeah.
Where they overlap, this dangerous kind of lawless place. Some really cool elements, folks. You guys want to read, just fun stuff? I mean, definitely check this one out. And I'm a sucker throughout. I don't know how the folks who are watching this at home are on the replay, but I'm a sucker. I love the Band-Aid dots. That really lends to that old school classic, retro comic. Anytime any use of like Band-Aid dot or Kirby, I'm a sucker for that stuff. I love it. I love
me
it.
too. It's always like the very like tactile things where you can see the way it was printed. I also like purposefully misregister the colors so it would look like that. I love that stuff. I love risograph printing. If I could have done this whole book as a Rizzo book, I would have. But sure. Yeah.
What was the decision behind that? Just to kind of give it that retro.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like I was brought up on like my dad's like ancient back issues of Marvel books from the 60s and 70s. So like those like kind of outdated printing methods are so appealing to me, all the way down to just like the tone of the paper and stuff.
I love it. I love it, man. So you're saying folks can pick this up in physical and in print, yeah?
Yeah. I just reordered print copies. They should be coming in within the next week or two. So yeah, those are coming. They're gonna be ready to go out.
We got Philly Phil saying, "Great job and continued success."
Thank you,
sure, man. For sure, this one I love it. What's okay? I gotta know now. So I read this a couple times. I'm digging where it's going. We're gonna get more from Mickey and Saturday.
We'll see. I wrote this book to be self-contained, but I have ideas about where they could take themselves next.
Okay.
But it's all a matter of time and money.
Yeah.
For me and them.
I can only, like I said, that just a tremendous amount of respect for you guys who self-publishing your books, man. I know it's an enormous task, can't be easy, for sure. And you're printing it through, so this is like your imprint, All Sorrows?
Yeah, All Sorrows is kind of like my personal artist brand. It's kind of a living project / experiment where I'm using it as like an imprint, but then also as a method for world building. I'm kind of still exploring what it is myself. If you want to watch me do that in real time, you can just follow me on all my socials. But yeah, it's kind of a way for me to market myself and my work through the lens of like storytelling and world building, and keeping like the business aspect of being an illustrator something that is like fun and engaging for me. Yeah.
I'm into it, man. I love the whole look, the whole aesthetic, man. There's just super into it. And shout out Paul Dix Comics, made it. Yeah, man. Encourage everybody to check out Peppermint Desert, man. There's a great line in there. What was it? Drive like you pissed in your breakfast. Great. I said I gotta figure out a way how to use that now. Somehow, some way.
Yeah, man. Next time you're in a high-speed chase, that's your go-to.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask each one of you guys. Go to breakfast item. What's your favorite breakfast item? Well, we start at the top with Misty. Your one. What's the staple in the breakfast? What do you love? What do you love?
A staple or my favorite?
Oh, let's go with your favorite. Yeah.
I'd say Eggs Benedict.
Eggs Benny. Okay.
That's my favorite.
I'm with that. Okay. Kevin, what are you saying, my man?
I'm very basic with breakfast. I get sunny side up, eggs, bacon, toast. That's all. And hash browns. Actually, hash browns.
Yeah?
Hash browns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, but what kind of hash browns?
What do you mean? What kind? Like what type of potato?
Like no, like crispy or like the kind that are formed
Oh,
or
Oh.
the diner I used to go to would make the top very crispy, but
Mhm.
inside is mushy.
yeah.
And
Ooh,
so it was
yeah.
like a great mix of
That's my
both. Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
kind too.
Those are the
Okay.
best.
Are those called technically home fries? Is that what they call them?
No, home fries are thicker. Home
Home
fries
fries are
are
thicker?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm with that though. I love a classic breakfast. Sean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll echo all that. I like a plate, but I also like maybe some French toast on top of there. That's
Yeah.
good stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Nobody said no fresh fruit on the side. I love a little fresh fruit, man. You know, I
Oh,
love
I'm
breakfast.
very California. I love an avocado toast with a over easy egg and
Um,
everything but the bagel.
so
Some pickled
millennial.
onions. I'm from Orange County, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it very Orange County.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not
I
mad.
like
No
lived
chill.
on over easy eggs and toast with red chili flakes on top.
Yes.
Ooh,
Wild.
Oh, when you
So
fry
good.
the egg in the chili oil, that's like
Oh,
my stomach hates it, but I love it. Like it's so
Like leave the yolk just a little mushy and kind of runny in the middle.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's just
Over easy. What is that?
Oh, like you got a good egg, a yolk. What's it called? It's like real runny in the middle. The
Oh
yolk.
no.
Yeah. I love a good yolk pop. I
Yeah.
love yolk. Yes.
Yeah.
There's such a thing as too runny. There's like it should be.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be kind of cooked and then just sort of warm and gooey.
Yeah.
It's pretty good if you have a nice egg.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like that is you gotta just it's gotta be just right. Like you can really make it maybe too runny or not enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pico de gallo with diced up avocado. Yes. The chef's kiss right there. Right there.
Oh, he said
Yeah.
grits. Grits are my favorite. If only if they're cooked right.
Grits and coffee. What's
I have
grits?
to make it myself. You've never had grits?
I'm up in Canada. I feel
It's
like
like
that's an American-
polenta. It's like, have you had polenta?
No.
It's like corn, ground corn,
Uh-huh.
and it's usually like in the South. I'm black, so I grew up eating it probably every day.
You kooky Americans. Grits. Yeah, okay. I might have to. I don't even. Okay, let me check that out.
But if you put sugar in your grits, Phil, get out of here. You're not
Yeah.
welcome here anymore.
Okay. I'm with that. So peppermint desert, folks. Again, encourage everybody. Check that one out, man. Yeah, super into that. Real talk, Sean. Dope stuff, man. I love
Thank
it.
you so much. I appreciate
Big
it.
one. Love that art. Love the color palette. The aesthetic. Oh, man, that's my type of shit right there. Next up, we got Space Nights from Kevin Anthony Catalan. Kevin, hit us. What is this book about, man?
That's always a difficult question
Yeah?
to answer because it's an anthology series. So it's
Okay.
a space fantasy, space fantasy, but it's three stories within the book.
Mhm.
So the first story is called Cult Hunters, and the second story is Iron Hand, and the last one is Mudfoot Hill. And so the overarching thing is that there's this big religious church that has enforcers that imagine the Ten Commandments was enforced by cops. So you have that system, and then you have countries within those, so which are planets, and there's a big war between elves and men.
Mhm.
And then we tell stories within that confines of that world. So co-hunters are just mercenaries that are working for the church, but they're not with the church, like bounty hunters.
Mhm.
And then Iron Hand is like this redemption story. If you see him in the first image on the left side, he's this lost knight that's trying to find his redemption in life again. And then Mudfoot Hill is a story for the human soldiers, foot soldiers, like the grunts fighting in this war. Yeah, that's like the very brief thing I can say about this. Is more of a experience thing you got to do.
Absolutely. That's the word that I really. It's a full-fledged experience because this is a very expansive world that you've created, man. Like a lot of world building in this one, and I told you as much, Kevin. And the folks, the regulars here, they know as much. I'm not I'm not a fantasy guy per se, but I checked this one out. I've read it now a couple times. I'm really digging it. This is a whole lot of fun. It's bloody, you know, super. It's violent, man, but it's fun, you know. So, folks, you like uh, an intergalactic war, you know, between men and elves, but you have these cool elements. You frame it like almost like a religious war, you know,
Yeah.
like a religious inquisition, which is pretty cool. And you know, I like how you really kind of just, even though it's fun, you're kind of you're putting the brutality of war at,
Yeah.
at the forefront, right? You know, I mean, it ain't fun, folks.
No, like I'm a big World War II and World War One history buff,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you know I read a lot of history, watched a lot of documentaries,
Mm-hmm.
and even ancient history, like a lot of that stuff. And then it's always one thing coming up. It's like war is brutal. It's not. It can be glorious the way you see it, like oh, it's epic, it's beautiful, but it's also like they're people, you know, and there's very horrific things that happen.
Politics, comics, beautiful colors, and this is one thing we didn't include the slides here, but I love there are so many just really epic double page splashes that you've included in this first volume, folks. When I tell you, like, I was like blown away. In all truthfulness, very impressed by the art, man. Yeah, I just encourage you guys check it out because it's beautiful spreads. And then I
Thank you.
mentioned earlier, I'm a sucker for the Kirby Crackle. You
Yeah.
know, it's something about it. It's a classic. You know, you can't go wrong. And you use it nicely. So yeah, I think this was the opening page. War between elves and men, and just a lot of detail, really fun, vibrant colors, man. Yeah. So how did this baby come together?
Yeah.
The origin.
So as a kid, I've always watched like Lord of the Rings, read Lord of the Rings, and in high school I was reading into Game of Thrones, and so I was trying to make something in fantasy.
Mhm.
But the big thing I keep getting back is that people, oh, but you're writing something like Lord of the Rings, you're doing something like Game of Thrones. So it's always being compared to something that's a bigger fantasy, and I got really tired of that. So I put it aside. So I made this big world out of fantasy. And in college, I was getting into like retro sci-fi stuff, like pulp sci-fi, and I started reading some old heavy metal comics, and then I started into Mobius. I started getting into Jack Kirby, and just this, like this classic sci-fi, like very like campy sci-fi thing. You have the ray guns, kind of the big bubble helmets stuff, and I always like that 50s aesthetic with sci-fi. And so, and I started playing this game too called Outer Worlds, and it's that Western sci-fi slash capitalistic like kind of game where you play this character in this kind of realm, and it just really inspired me to do something with sci-fi. And for a project for college, for my comics classes, we had this. We're gonna do a zine for a class, and I just have to come up with something really like simple. And I was really into knights because of fantasy, and I was really into sci-fi. And so I made this short story of Iron Hand for fun, of like this gladiator match of knights, but with the culture of wrestlers. So you have wrestler commentators, and then you have like the kayfabe of wrestlers, but as knights.
Yeah.
And I made that quick for my class because my teacher said I only had like 1 week, even though I had 2 weeks. He told me that to see if I can do it like within the deadline. And so yeah, I did that for fun. And then I wanted to do something more with that aesthetic of Space Knights. And I started getting to like writing. I was like, oh, I need to make a new world again. And then I realized, wait, I already have this fantasy story that I've built, this world building. Why waste time? And I can just use this to just change it up to things to make it work in space. And things just started clicking. And the first image that came to my head was the first page, was the head blown off. It was like, like what's the first thing I could show about people about war?
Yeah.
Is the casualty, like the horrific casualty thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I started starting off in a battle or something epic. I just show the aftermath. That's the first thing, and then that's how I introduce the world, and then we go off to these short stories,
That's
or
cool.
sorry, series. Yeah,
So volume one, and folks, it's a thick boy. I think we got like it was 90 plus pages,
yeah,
something like that in the first volume. So
yeah.
you're getting a lot of bang for your bucks, folks. These wonderful art. So it's like an anthology style. You got 3 stories set in this world that you've created. And I believe this is the first one, Cult Hunters,
Yeah.
and revolving around two mercenaries. Yeah.
Yeah, two mercenaries.
Okay. Yeah. And so they're part of they're working on like kind of like the side of the elves, like the religion.
Not really. That's the thing. 'Cause when you think about like, let's think about the church, like Catholic Church.
Yeah.
They're in every country. They have no, they don't have any affiliates with countries, so they work within other races.
Oh,
That makes it complicated. You see, start seeing that there's a race war, but then the religion is no race. So how does that affect?
gotcha.
Yeah. So these mercenaries can be humans, but they're in elf lands, and how would those elves treat them as such?
Got you.
Even though, yeah, that's a thing that I'm trying to build up to.
I got you.
Yeah.
You mentioned some like retro 50s inspiration, and I think I got it here. I love this. I loved
Yeah.
within this book you have these like in universe advertisements, and I love seeing that kind of stuff in the book because it adds to the world building.
Yeah, because I'm very big on Pinterest, and I started, I love old 50s like ads and stuff, and so some of them are just weird. Some of them like they're selling cigarettes or something that's pretty dangerous. Like there's one where I think it was something with radium in it, but they didn't know that it was still bad. And so, I started thinking, okay, what can I do with ads with this book instead of just being ads? What can I do to build the world more instead of being exposition when you tell a story? You just
Mhm.
have an ad and people just, oh, it's an ad, but they start reading it, it's like, oh, this is pretty gruesome. But to them, it's normal, so it makes you really feel like you're in the world.
I,
So,
I love it. I'm a sucker for it, man. So there's some connectivity. So we got Sean's Peppermint Desert, had that retro 50s aesthetic, and then you were including some of this here with the 50s ad aesthetic. So it's great, man. And then you see a little bit more of that. So this is from your Space Knights Zine. I think it's like
zine, yeah.
zine.
Yeah, this is the new one. So this one's coming out next week. We're going to premiere at the LACon.
Oh,
Yeah, so I got a publisher now. I started off with self-published, and I got a publisher to pick it up, Cosmic
okay.
Lion Productions. And so, but I worked on this as without a publisher. This is just he found me. And so one of my friends on Facebook said, "I want you to do a black and white book." It's like, it'd be fun to do. And
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But he asked me to do the first book as black and white, but I think that's kind of, I want to say cheap, but the book is made for color. I want to make a book that's made for black and white. This is a whole different approach.
Yeah.
And it's also a test, and it was a difficult test, but it was really fun. And so this one's I have a featured 3-page spread that folds out at the
Yeah.
center of the book. And so this is the 3-page spread that's vertical, so you have to flip the book this way when you use it.
Yeah. Do one of these exactly.
Yeah. Because the thing is, like with like books, and what I'm trying to do with my comic stuff is we have digital and you have printed comics, right?
Mhm.
I'm trying to make incentives to where, oh, I need to make people like want to buy the print because what reason would you want print? It's touch, interactivity, turning pages. So something you can flip around, do a vertical spread, and then you can even fold it out. That's a book. As a kid, I've always liked those interaction books. It's always been fun. And I think adults can like that with something like a comic book, and it's always a fun surprise too. Because when I buy books and there's something special, like, oh, what is this? And then you like the book more.
Absolutely. I really dig that. Yeah, it's just fun. You open up the book and then boom, you got that nice 3-page. So this is gonna be printed. It's being printed next week. You said the design.
It's been in print. We've just been waiting for the printer.
Okay.
So it's gonna be premiered in LACon this coming December 2nd.
Okay.
So but we're selling it as pre-orders in our my publisher's website.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I'd be remiss not to mention you've got a and folks, I'm just repeating what's in the book. You got a cock-faced Titan in the book. Is that correct?
Oh, the elephant
There
because he
you
has the
go.
trunk.
There you go.
So
There you
I
go.
brought it back to the gladiator type thing where you had the eye
Yeah.
hand facing. So this scene when I was writing it, it was just gonna be like another night. And I was like, that's so boring to draw. Like, what can I do to make it interesting? And I was rewatching Lord of the Rings, and that scene with the Mumakils came out, the big elephants, and I was like, what if he just fights a big elephant dude to really show how strong he is, right? So
Okay.
So,
I dig it, man. And this is really a fully immersive world. Folks, I think you have a lot of fun with this one. Again, just impressive. Writing, coloring, lettering, all that good stuff, man. You got the Band-Aid dots, the Kirby crackle. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with it. I love it, folks. We got the link in the description of the video. You guys can go check this one out, man. Yeah. So congrats, man. And then you got
Thank
pick
you.
up by a small publisher. You were saying, yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing a reprint of the first books. We have a new cover
Mhm.
and some new stuff on it too. It's gonna be different from the first printings. I think we beefed it up from 90 to 120 pages.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then we have the zine, which is going to be like 44 pages. It's like 26 pages of comics, and the other things are like illustrations of knights and like pinups and stuff.
I dig it. Look at that. I love a good advertisement in universe advertisement. And
Thanks, man.
when I tell you, I read everything, like everything, all the little,
Yeah, I thought about everything, so it's nice that you read it.
it's a
It's a
trip.
little surprise there.
We got a. Oh my God, Leah. Oh my God, Leah. What's going on? How you doing? A little birdie. Is it correct? Oh, it's her
Yeah,
birthday
she turned
girl.
35 today.
Hey, happy birthday, Leah. Happy birthday. 35?
Yeah, rounded up.
Rounded it up.
Yeah.
Why? Don't.
Rounded up.
I thought she said 33. My goodness. Yes. Happy birthday, Leah. Always good to see you in the chats. Hope you're having a good one. We got Raging Cajun in the house. What's going on, my man? Thank you for coming through. For those who are just coming in, we're talking some dope indie self-published comics, man. And hey, Sean.
Hey, Tam, what's going on?
It's always good to see some new faces in the chats. Yes, man. So we just talking Space Knights from Kevin Anthony Catalan. Go check that one out. And then, oh, what's that? What's that? We got Misty Graves, Book of Fates. Misty, what's going on? What is this book all about, man?
So my book is about the end of the world. It's really the end of the world. There's a species of brain worm that has infested everyone. Oh no. So everyone Misty Graves knows is acting very strangely. They're all abiding to whatever the Great Worm wants from them. And what the Great Worm wants is to heat up the planet to 180 degrees, which is their preferred temperature. So little does everyone know they're kind of destroying the human world in efforts to do what the worm wants. And there's very few days left in the world. Misty, she finds a book that tells the story of the world, has every chapter of everything that's ever happened, and she is trying to figure out how she can save the planet by hopping from chapter to chapter, reading people's futures, and essentially giving them the choice to make a better decision or take a different path in hopes that she can prevent the world from ending at the hands of the brainworms.
Okay.
So it's an anthology horror. Oh, sorry, what?
Oh, I was just saying I'm into it. I dig it.
All right, okay. Yeah, so it's an anthology horror. That's sort of Misty's in-between story. So that's like her ongoing story arc, is her trying to save the world by changing things in time.
Okay.
And the way she does that is by reading people's scary stories. So it has 3 scary stories in it. They're illustrated by 3 incredible comic artists that I'm very thankful are working on this book, and so far it's been just a wonderful experience to work with them. It's my first solo project,
Mhm.
I did Ex Machina, and that was so much fun, and it really gave me a lot of confidence to do something on my own.
Mhm.
So I've been working on this on my weekends and my mornings and my evenings. I've been doing a lot of the art direction myself, a lot of the design. Um, is myself. I'm kind of pitching in where I can as far as the creation book artistically outside of what the comic artists are doing. So I'm doing some coloring, I'm doing some lettering. Let's see.
Yeah, because you've got some art in this one as well too, right? If I'm not mistaken,
Oh,
this is your page.
yes, I also am doing the intro to the book and it tells the story. It's sort of Misty's intro story where we see her finding the book and I don't want to spoil it for you, but yeah, I'm doing the pages myself, using actual physical materials, which is it's it's been fun.
I dig
And
that page.
also,
Yeah.
thank you.
Is that painted? It looks like almost like watercolors or
It's ink. It is
it's
ink
paint. Okay.
painting.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty
I like
cool.
it's some ink colors that match the classic. Well, here's some crimson red. I felt like I needed to have like a very good blood red color. I have this cyan color because CMYK is so important to comic printing. So I've been kind of running the gamut of artistic expression making this comic. I'm designing things on the computer. I'm doing things in Photoshop. I'm coloring digitally and also physically coloring it. And I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. It's not complete yet, but it's being made. It's on its way to being made. Um,
And
I
folks
mean,
can check this out. It's live on Kickstarter right now, correct?
it is live on Kickstarter. Yes,
Oh,
we had the debut day was Halloween, and it'll be available on Kickstarter until the end of December.
okay.
And if not available on Kickstarter, it's still going to get made, and it'll be available on my website, mistygraves.com.
I dig it. I backed it last night. I'm excited to check this one out, man. I dig the vibe. I dig the aesthetic. So, a horror comedy anthology style. Yeah,
Yes.
very cool. And this is one of the stories here. Big Truck Slasher. And did I get the artist's name correct? Old Goat. Old Goat.
Yeah. He goes by Greasy Goat or Old Goat Productions.
Oh.
So, a comic artist straight from hell, I thought would be very appropriate for this book.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want
I
to meet buddy. I want to have a drink with him. Old Goat. Cheers. Like I'm into it. I dig it. Yeah.
Yes. You could find him perched on a burned out car somewhere in the bad side of town. If you really want to have a beer with him. Yeah, so he was the perfect person to do this story for me. It's a rhyming tale about revenge and road rage, and it's kind of I wanted to have the victims of this story be not your typical like running screaming big bosomed ladies, so it's just like, what if we have the victims of this story are like the people who identify with their trucks. They're like, I'm very big and tough, and my truck makes me strong, and like maybe make those people scared for once. Not that they're, because actually now that I think about it, it's kind of a reactionary stance to take. But regardless, I thought it would be something we could all laugh about. Like if you've ever been stuck behind a truck on the highway, this is the story for you.
I try not to. I avoid.
And I see the setting is Pacific Northwest, and when I tell you, I've lived a lot of places, but the most passive aggressive, worst drivers, Washington, the worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
Oh
yes.
man. Why do you think that is, Al?
I don't. I think they might all be colorblind. I can't tell you how many times a day I see people run red lights like constantly. They don't know what stop signs are either, so that's why I'm leaning towards colorblindness. They also drive trucks that are too big for the roads out here. Like it's like rural areas, but not rural enough for your like 6-wheeled truck. Also, those trucks are ugly. The double wheels on the back. And it's like a whole thing out here. And I'm just like, you guys live in the suburbs with like these big ass trucks for no reason. You're not hauling anything. And it's like a whole personality trait out here. Like that is their whole identity.
Yeah, it's like an identity thing. And I don't know why, but I equated it to the Zodiac killer targeting brunettes. I was like, why not truck drivers?
Yeah, like, why not?
You know? But the whole thing rhymes, so it's supposed to be kind of silly. And I don't condone this. Like my boyfriend,
I don't condone it.
He drives the truck with a bull bar on the front, so I'm you know, it's just in fun. I'm not really like targeting anybody. I just thought it was something we could all laugh about. And maybe find some kind of catharsis in. Because I feel like, you know, horror can be very cathartic sometimes. So
I think this will be Al's favorite, eh? Al, you're like relatable road rage.
Listen, I backed this day one as soon as it launched. I said,
thank you so much.
She's like autobiographical.
A little bit. I mean, yes, the stories they come from in here somewhere. So.
And where's this page from here, Misty?
So this is from the intro to the third story serial killer. This is a page I did digitally, and so what I'm going to have happen is as Misty is sort of becoming this horror host, the style of her artwork is changing into becoming more digitally and with Ben-Day dots and more old school classic comic style. So I'm hoping I can pull that off.
Well, yeah, I dig it. I like it. I like a nice line coloring. So, it's very nice. So yeah, I mean, I don't think you mentioned it on the last time you were on. I didn't realize you did artwork as well. So it's nice to see. I'm digging that. Because you just had the writing credits on Ex Machina, yeah?
Yeah, I just did writing on Ex Machina.
So she's been posting
yeah,
it on
actually,
Instagram.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get an ID one, apparently. Yeah. And this one...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead, yeah. Oh, what's going on?
My speaker just cut out.
This artwork here, this is from one of the other stories.
Sorry, my speaker just cut out. Yes, I can hear you. Everything's fine. This is from Serial Killer, illustrated by Delia Gunderson.
Okay.
Serial Killer is a satirical retelling of a certain serial magnate. It's not based on anyone real. And it's told from the perspective of a young girl who is targeted by her parents as a result of a book this serial magnate came out with, and it's kind of like it's kind of pointed at the health industry and the beginnings of sort of sham cure-alls for things that are really rooted in actually criminalizing certain sets of people, or maybe not criminalizing, but like carving them away from society by labeling them with a certain illness that may or may not exist, you know, like hysteria, or there's a history of pushing people out of society with like bogus diagnoses. So this is about that, and it doesn't rhyme. This is actually a non-rhyming story. So
and not based on a real serial magnet. Not based. We got to make that clear, yeah.
No, any resemblance to people, what is it, dead or alive, or fictitious or non-fictitious.
Okay.
Because it's like looking in a mirror for me.
It's like looking at me.
Oh no.
I'm talking about the person on the right.
Yeah.
No, it's just kidding.
No, that's you in the middle. That's you in the
That's
middle.
you in the middle.
That's you in the middle. That's you in the middle. That's not fine.
So
So-
what's happening in this scene is she's gone to suggest adding blueberries to the cereal because she really likes it, but she's being carted away because of diagnosis by the doctor, Dr. Cereal, Kellogg. His name's actually Harvey Kellogg.
And I gotta say that's probably the right move. Fresh fruit, blueberries in cereal. That's a big no.
Oh,
Should be
you're
there to
wrong.
be. No, can't allow it.
Bananas in cereal is good. That's
Okay, but
good.
I'll give you bananas and like cornflakes or
And
something.
strawberries. What's the special K like
Like that.
with?
Take it too far. You take it. Too
Okay, sorry.
far. So now I gotta ask everybody favorite cereal. Missy's thinking real hard.
Mine is frosted shredded wheat because I
Frosted shredded wheat?
love to shred my mouth up. Yeah.
We're gonna have talks. Later.
The minis, frosted shred, the minis,
Get out of here.
and Crave.
Crave. You know what? Crave is
Love
not
Crave.
too bad, but I can only have like a few spoonfuls because it gets real sweet real quick.
Oh, I have like one bowl, and then I'm like, "Hey kids, you could eat the rest." Like I just wanted one taste of it, so I
Yeah.
justify it by my kids. Like,
Okay.
you guys eat the leftovers.
How about the rest of you guys? What favorite breakfast or favorite cereal?
I was gonna say cinnamon toast crunch, but that is also like basically a dessert. But I think I'll stick
all
with it.
cereal's pretty much dessert.
Okay, I mean, period.
Most of it, I'm basic. I like frosted flakes.
Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah.
Okay. Classic. Misty, what are you selling then?
I was gonna say rice checks because it's like gluten free. Really boring answer. I like rice checks. But you can also make holiday mix out of it, where you combine it with some Worcestershire sauce and like garlic powder, and you bake it.
What?
Yeah, like
No.
Chex Mix.
Oh.
Yeah,
Chex Mix.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best part of Chex Mix
Yes.
Golden Grams. Which one are those? The teddy bears?
No, those are Teddy Grams. Teddy Grams are the Teddy. You're telling me you buy boxes of cookies and you just eat it like cereal?
Golden Grams. Golden Grams.
Golden Grams are like cinnamon toast crunch, but they're more mild. They're honey. I think they're like honey based.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Man, nobody likes just some regular healthy old like cornflakes, the non-sweetened.
Misty just said she Chex.
It's
Yeah.
Chex.
Chex is like the healthiest thing.
Yeah, okay. I'm
I
with
used
that.
to eat grape nuts when I was a kid, and I thought it was normal. And then my friends would come over, and they're like, "That's the cereal you have?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry."
I don't know. No grape nuts. Hell on Wheels.
On it.
I love this one. I love the look. I love the vibe. What's going on here?
So this is the story Hell on Wheels, illustrated by Elena Morton, who is just fabulous. She's just effortless, classic comic book style. She's doing the story. This is a tale of drag racing and ghosts, and it starts out with Misty really needing a car. She needs a ride back to Delver Bay so she can feed her cat her medicine. So she's looking at this car, and she wants this car, and in order to get this car, she decides to trade the owner of the car a story for the car. Well, he might not be into it, but she has hypnosis powers, so it doesn't matter if he's into it or not, because she's going to tell him the story. So she tells him this story that is about his life, and she presents him with the option at the end to do something differently. And he, I guess I'm not going to reveal what he does, but it's a fun story.
To find out. We got to back to find out.
You got to back to find out. It's a fun story. It takes place in the 50s. It's like kind of influenced by drag racing culture, old Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. I love it. See, there's connectivity between all three books. All have some kind of element of 50s inspiration. I dig it. Was that purposeful, Elle? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, this was, I will be transparent, this was a Sergio curated panel this time.
Mhm.
I will say that I absolutely love the names Mickey and Saturday
Oh,
and
thank you.
Peppermint Desert. It was for me that like sold it. I'm like, I don't even care what this is about. That's cool. And like how you had like what was it, like kind of like the script in the background on that first page. Like
Oh
behind.
yeah, yeah.
That was
thank
very
you.
cool. Nice touch. And Kevin, your book is very on brand for Sergio. I expected nothing less from him. When I saw it, I said, I didn't even have to know. I already knew. And Misty, I love your work. I can't wait for this. I'm very proud that you're coming out with your own thing now. So that's very cool as well. But yeah, this was a Sergio inspired. If you want to know the many facets of the six head himself.
You're a weirdo. No. Yeah, I know. I love it, man. Three great books to check out. That's at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. Is like we want to spread the good word on like these dope books and just get readers to check out something that maybe otherwise they might not be familiar with. Looking forward to this, and this is like a tiered item. Like these are like holographic stickers, Misty.
Yes, this is a set of stickers that Ellen had designed to be one of the Kickstarter tiers. So if you pledge at a certain level, you get the book, but you also get these fantastic stickers. So I'll have ordered samples of these, and we'll show them in all of their holographic glory. So these will be holographic, but for now they're in kind of an old comic book style.
I dig it. And then I think one more from your Kickstarter here. This was pretty cool. This is from Jim Terry, yeah? He's the artist on West of Sundown. He's done a bunch of other stuff.
Yes. Yeah. He reached out to me, and it was like in the very beginning of this project, and he was just very supportive. Like, could I draw something for you? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, yeah. And he wonderful picture when she, as I described her, just kind of based on the idea for the book. So it's really inspired by that. I love the lighting in it. I love the worms coming in. The derelict style of the window. It's just perfect, and he's such an incredible artist. He's so incredible. Everybody should follow him on Instagram and check out West of Sundown.
Love that book. Yeah, beautiful book to look at, man. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So this is available as a poster in one of the tiers on the Kickstarter.
Yes.
Very nice. And now before we wrap this one up, folks, I've been meaning to ask, anytime I speak to an American. So several years ago, and they discontinued it here now in Canada, Rice Krispie Squares Treats was a cereal that was available here. For some reason, it's not anymore. It's still available in the States. Are you guys familiar with that at all? Or anybody at home in the audience know about this?
Are you talking about, so there's Rice Krispies, but are you talking about a Rice Krispie treat cereal?
Yeah, it was literally called Rice Krispie Squares Treats cereal.
Well, Canadians, they be adding extra words into the titles.
That's true.
So I think we still have like Rice Krispie treat cereal in some places, but
it's the best.
I've never heard like Rice Krispie treat square.
No? Let me see. You gotta stop for time. Let me see if I can pull this one up.
Stop for time.
This is serious, folks. This is like we need to know.
I'll say I'm not familiar, but I could just not be paying attention in the cereal aisle.
That's true.
But it's called out here. It's just called Rice Krispie Treats, and it's a cereal. It's like a purple box.
Huh.
But they're like little pieces of Rice Krispie treats. So extra sugar, like the sugar's already there. You don't have to add it.
Can you? Because I can't find it even online.
Wait, I thought you were all about healthier cereals, man. What happened?
I was. I was.
But also, that's like something you can make at home. Yeah, just get some squares and cut them up.
It's
And
not the
it's
same.
disgusting either way.
It's not the same.
You can make Rice Krispie squares from the cereal and just like
Mhm.
smash it into a big ball.
Ugh. And then sog it up with some milk. That's
You're like-
disgusting.
Do like sculpture with it.
Oh, Tom's saying they're still available here, not squares though. Yeah, no, they weren't. Yeah,
Yeah, they're like little pieces.
yeah, they're like little pieces.
Yeah, they're just
Huh.
called Rice
Man.
Krispie treats here.
They're just called Rice Krispies. Okay,
Yeah. And then, but in a cereal, but
In a
it
cereal,
doesn't say
yeah.
cereal on the box. It just
Okay.
says Rice Krispie treats.
okay. You gotta send me like a care package, please.
Yeah.
Man,
Tampered with or untampered?
ma'am. We live in a pandemic world. Untampered, please. Shenanigans. Folks, really, really thank you guys for coming through and talking about these books, man. Respect, kudos to each one of you guys for doing your thing and just entertaining stuff for us to check out and read. And it went quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Hey, man, you guys are welcome back anytime. Again, we'll give you each a chance. Sean, where can everybody find you at, my man?
Yeah, I am on Instagram, Twitter as All Sorrows. I think Instagram it's like all.sorrows. Twitter it's allsorrows_. Allsorrows.com is my website. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Hive now, I guess. Yeah, just look for All Sorrows. You'll find me. Or my name, or Sean Peacock. That's also Descript.
Okay. We're going to find you on Hive. Everybody's moving mass migration to Hive, man.
I just wanted to claim the username. I don't know how much I'll be active on there.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if I'm going to get used to that app. It's just, it's not the same. It's not Twitter. I'm sad. Comics folks, come back to Twitter, please. Kevin, where can everybody find you at?
Yeah. Oh, so right now my Facebook and Instagram is down. So you can only find me on my website at the moment, 𝐬𝐸, my last name, art.com. And Space Nights you can find on my publisher's website at cosmiclionsproductions.com. You'll have both books there. Yeah. But if my Instagram comes back, it's gonna be 𝐬𝐸_art.
Okay. All right. You know what? And I meant to ask you. We're getting because this is the first volume. We're getting a second anytime soon.
Yeah. So I've been working on it. I should have sent you the cover.
Yeah.
The new cover for issue 2. But
send it to me. And we'll post it on the socials.
Yeah, got you. I'll do that. So I have the second volume coming out early next year. So yeah, I've been working on it that's why I did the zine, because I wanted to do something small to try out and then do the second volume. So
hey, that's dope news, because I want to read more, man. You got me hooked.
Thank you.
And I think folks will dig it for sure. Misty, where can everybody find you at, ma'am?
So right now, go to mistygraves.com and it should link you to Kickstarter. Or you could just search Misty Graves Book of Fates Kickstarter on Google and I'll be there. I'm also on Instagram at Misty Graves Comics, Misty Graves Book of Fates, also on Instagram. And I migrated to Hive, so I'm on Hive now. And that's all.
Everybody's on Hive now. Al, did you create a Hive?
Yeah, but I thought it would be funny if I don't post any comic book content on there to throw people off. So I've only been posting video game content.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Come back to Twitter, folks. This is weird. This is weird times. This is weird times in the comic. Thank you guys for coming through. You're welcome back anytime to talk breakfast cereals, or next time maybe we'll do like a lunch. We'll talk about lunch menus and stuff. Yeah.
We'll go through all of it, then we'll do dinner.
Exactly. I like that thinking. We've covered breakfast. We're moving on. Next time is lunch. Have a great one, folks. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday.
You too.
All right, cheers, guys.
See ya.
Later. There you have it, folks. Some great indie comic. Fulci, what's going on, my man? Headed to work, but wanted to pop in and show some love. I appreciate it. Spoiler Kings are in the house, baby. Yo. Twitter's been stupid dead.
It's dead. There's nobody.
Stupid dead. Man. And I don't know what's going on. Like it's even like here, it's been like yesterday was slow,
Oh, I
today's
gotta.
slow, much slower than usual. So I appreciate those folks who are coming out here and hanging out with us because I think just in general, finding everything is like really really slow. I don't know what the heck is happening. Oh,
You know what? I think everybody is just so upset that Canada lost today that they didn't want to share in the sadness, you know?
honestly, I was gonna cancel the show.
Yeah.
I'm legit. I'm bummy.
You know what's kind of sad though? Like you should still rep your team regardless of win, and here you are wearing Blue Jays gear. You're like,
Anyway, this is
let me show some winners some.
I'm still rocking the Canadian. No, I got a little always 100%. Yo,
Mhm.
I'm proud of the team. I'm proud of the
Yeah.
team. Listen,
Go
listen.
USA, am I right?
I don't play that in this not in my house. We don't talk. Yo, get
I'm
out of here.
sorry, our
Yo,
house.
get out of here, bro. But when you talk shenanigans like that,
When you talk
it's my
shenanigans
house.
like that,
But you one of those. Get out of here, bro.
nah.
Get out.
I couldn't even tell you. Do soccer teams have names?
She's like colonialism.
Does yeah, me, the person suffering from the result of colonialism. Go colonialism. What was the name? Do soccer teams have names or they're just countries? Like, are they just Canada or do they have like a name?
Yeah, it's not like the Canadian Knights or
Well,
nothing.
because you see like Manchester United, that's not England. That's like
That's the
a
club
different
level, bro. That's the club level.
whatever. That's too much information. You're telling me too much right now. You said club level.
Yeah. What's going on, folks, these days? For those who are watching home, what's going on? Just the socials seem really dead.
Yeah.
Really dead.
And every time I'm on Twitter, my posts get inundated by NFT accounts and spam accounts. I've blocked Elon, no lie, 3 times. But his tweets keep popping up on my feed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always at the very top. Like as soon as I log into Twitter, is his latest tweet.
That guy's a clown.
I'm like, this is a joke, and so.
What a clown. I can't
But the
believe
NFT stuff for me, I'm getting so many requests and like weird messages from like spam bots and like porn accounts, and
stop posting thirst traps, man.
yeah.
Yo, stop posting thirst traps.
I gotta stop posting just my pinky toe content.
Just
my pinky toe.
Oh, you got pinky toe content now. Yeah.
But yeah,
Politics Comics is your that's half correct. Like the Azuri, that's like their nickname though, right?
Oh no, I don't know.
A lot of these countries, yeah, they definitely have nicknames. Oh, I can't, man. I got a brain freeze. But yeah, a lot of countries do have nicknames. Yeah. So I guess you get half a point now.
Thank you. A hat trick, if you will. Goal.
Oh, who are you going for? Who's your team, bud? Anybody still with us? Who's your team?
You wanna go? Did you do a weekend review this week?
You know what? I didn't do my slides.
Okay.
But I did. I've been caught up in the World Cup, so I didn't get as much reading as I wanted to. I do want to talk about. I didn't get any slides. Did anybody else read the new Doctor Strange joint?
I heard a lot of people talk about it. I heard a lot of buzz about Eisner for it and stuff. But I personally haven't. I like Trad more, but I feel like it's very you have to be into his, style.
Yeah. So Trad Moore, he's writing and he's the artist on the new Doctor Strange book.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of buzz. I've seen a lot of good reviews and from creators and from fans and just readers. So I said, let me check this one out. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know whether I love it or I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I'm gonna give it another read. I read it once.
Yeah.
I'll say like a lot of the art is really is beautiful to look at. It's got some like abstract stuff in there, but at the same at the same time too, for me, I found it was maybe too abstract. I didn't know what the heck I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like a sensory overload,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like nice, but like what the heck is like I couldn't process like what is happening here,
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of
Which kind of says a lot because you're into a lot of trippy acid stuff. So,
right, yeah,
and a lot of
I
acid.
love that kind of stuff, but for me,
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time like what is going on here, like
In other
what am I looking at?
disappointments,
Hey?
Dark Spaces Wildfire wrapped, and what an underwhelming. I was honestly, I like threw my computer. I was like, what the fuck.
Because you've been loving that book.
Every single issue has
Yeah.
been fantastic. This
Mhm.
final issue, it just felt like such an easy out.
Mhm.
It was and I was just like, for the level that all the other issues were at, I was very, very much disappointed.
Mm.
In the finale of it.
Really, eh?
Yeah, it's like it's not in my top 3 this week at all. Like it's in my bottom.
Oh, okay. Look, thank you. So Paul Dix Comics is saying I felt the same way about that book. I'm like, cause Paul, I'm telling you guys, I was like, legit. I haven't seen any kind of criticism, like there was like universally like positive reviews.
Yeah.
And I read it. I'm like, what am I missing here? Am I the only one? So I mean, it's a little comforting, no lie, to know like, I want you to check it out. It's first of all, it's a super quick read.
Yeah, I can check it out later.
Minimal dialogue, not dense. But I was like, yeah, I don't know whether I love
You
it
want
or
to know
I
what's
hate it, but
like
it's good.
another like controversial thing like that is like Woman of Tomorrow. I love the art, Bilquis. I love her art. But I'm gonna be real with you, that book fucking dragged for me. It was such
Woman
a
of Tomorrow.
drag. That Superwoman book, was it last year?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking.
I've not heard one person say anything bad about it. But
Yeah,
for me, the art gorgeous, like breathtaking, lovely.
yeah.
But the narration and the dialogue, it was just a drag. And
Wasn't
I was
too
and
bad.
well that and I'm not a big Superwoman fan in general or Supergirl fan in general, so
Okay.
but it was like I was reading it and I'm like, okay, this is like okay, cool, but like also no thank you.
You're talking about the Tom King joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read, I think, only the first issue of that Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, whatever it's called. Yeah, I got it almost seemed like fantasy-esque.
It was very
Oh.
heavy-handed on the words.
Yeah. But so Paul, regarding Doctor Strange, he's saying he was a little confused. Yeah, same, bud. But I will agree. Yeah, it was really. I mean, there's some pages you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
But then it was just on others. It was like it was too much. I didn't. What the heck. So yeah, so that was. I read that. I wanted to get into Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I'll probably read it at some point today. I really enjoyed issue 1. I'm excited to check out Vanish.
Okay.
It's another book. I really enjoyed the first 2 issues, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying issue 3's great stuff. So, actually, that's a good segue right there. I see that. I just noticed that right there. What's going on here?
Well, that's we're doing Copper Drop first or this?
Yeah. You know what? Okay, cool. Let's do Copper Drop
Real quick.
real quick here.
Because we'll get into and you know what's so funny? Just to get ahead of the game here.
Mm-hmm.
Vanish makes sense and makes absolutely no sense, and I'm here for it.
Oh, you like the chaos?
It's like at this point I feel like we'll get to it later, but I'm just like, what is happening? But also, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So before that, we want a little bit of Copper Drop.
Yeah.
Here we go. Do it for you. Don't do it. Let me
click.
Here we go.
Are you gonna?
I was,
No.
I was waiting. I thought you were gonna try to cut me off.
No.
I'm like, that's why I gave you the squint eye. Don't do it, man. Here we go, folks. Copper drop time. Ow. Tell us what's going on here.
What's not going on?
Hmm?
Sorry. Copper drop, where we copper drop a book, a new #1 each week. So last week, I guess you guys voted for Sergio's book, Fear of a Red Planet. So that was the book that we read for this week. And then after we decide if it was a cop or a drop, then Sergio and I will each pitch a new #1 dropping next week. It's pretty cut and dry who should win, but it does get a little competitive on my side just because I'm a competitive person by nature.
A little, ma'am.
A little, but also,
folks,
also if you ever be like, oh, you're acting like the old code. I was like, but yeah, you know, houses have fallen before because of copper drop. And
what is it about this that makes it? And I'm like,
I think it's you're kind of smug. You're kind of like smarmy about stuff.
But I don't. I really is what I want to do. And then you have some folks who just take it way too
seriously.
Yeah, way too serious. But that's okay. That's okay. So Fear of the Red Planet, you guys voted for. This is from Aftershock Comics. This is a you know what, and I didn't take notes, so I'm gonna have to go off what I remember. A sci-fi western. You got human civilization. They've landed on Mars. Something like, you know, like a SpaceX mission. You had this guy who had dreams of colonizing it. So the first batch of people went there. The colony kind of failed. You had this kind of Chinese megacorp. They took over. They bought the colony, and now they're trying to like mine these rare metals. And the story centers around this main character. I don't recall her name. Do you know her name?
I didn't take notes either.
Oh, she's like the marshal. So she's trying to keep law in this colony. You've got, it's pretty cool. You got like a little miniature city, right? You got your like, you know, kind of like saloon / club / you know, whorehouse. Yeah. And you've I would say this issue did a pretty good job at building the world. You know, setting up what's to come. What are your thoughts on this one?
For me, it wasn't bad, but for me, like, this is like maybe something I would read in trade. If I didn't have, like, if I was at the comic shop and I saw it, I would be intrigued by the cover. I would check it out, but I honestly probably am not gonna continue it.
That's rude.
Not right now. Like I said, I might trade weight it, but it just, for me personally, for my taste, it just wasn't something that interested me or appealed.
Rudeness.
It's not rude. It's
rude.
It's not. It's. I love the art. I love the coloring, especially like with the blood splatter. But for me, it just wasn't my genre type. I'm not really big on space stories. There's been a few exceptions, like Red Planet I liked. There was a couple other ones, but like just like a flat, like a nah, I'm cool.
Yeah. Is Politics Comics, is that a play on public enemy's fear of a black planet? You know what? It maybe. I didn't think about that. Could be. So, my thoughts on this one, it did enough to. There was a you know, something of a twist at the end. It did enough to make me want to check out issue 2. To be honest, I'm interested. I like I'm always into like those little elements that kind of create this universe.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things like that. Why the colony, why a lot of them are upset. They're trying to get back to the home planet. Failing colony, and the mining corporation, the corruption, and all that stuff. So I would say this one is a cop. Check it out. Um, it does what it needs to. I think for the most part to get us to want to pick up an issue number two. Yep. Pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yep. What are your thoughts? Is it cop or drop, Elle?
For me, it's a drop. What? I told you it's just not my speed.
And you know what? I'm getting
space.
sick of your, because this is now how many 4 weeks in a row now we've disagreed on the cop or drop.
Listen,
You're doing this on purpose now.
No,
What is-
appeal to my taste in comics a little bit, but like I love the aspect of like the first murder on this plane. Like I really like that aspect, the colony aspect. I like, but
Yeah.
for me, if it's about space, I like the more human side of storylines and stuff like that. So like you like the corporation and the corruption and stuff like that, but for me, it's like I just want to see like regular people ruining things for themselves, and so, but again, like when it comes to space stories, like I'm, it has to be like very particular for me.
Well, you know what, Elle? Please now lock it off, because we got a gentleman with good taste in the house. I'm curious, Marklin, have you had the opportunity to read Fear of a Red Planet? Curious to hear your thoughts if you have, because I voted to cop it, continue reading, and Elle voted to drop it. So we're at a bit of an impasse.
Hold on, let me go ahead and block him from
A bit of an impasse.
commenting.
Yeah, I thought it did enough. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's not, it's just cool. Politics Comics saying their Daredevil and Punisher books have been great. It's so funny that you bring those up, because I actually just checked out the Daredevil book, right? So I think they're like on issue 5 or 6 now. The new run, they just renumbered it, right? It's still Chip and Marco Cicchetto. It's been a while since I checked it out. That is one of the most gorgeous books.
Yeah,
It stands right now.
I read the middle, like
and coloring Elle is
in the lull between the relaunch. I did read the Elektra
arc. Yeah,
and which was fantastic. I just wish I cared more about the characters in Marvel. You know what I mean? And again, the art phenomenal. I actually have like a bunch of the from the run covers, like framed. I love the art, but for me, it's just I just don't care enough about Murdoch and company.
Yeah. So I happened to be flipping through. Like I kind of read, but like it was speed reading. He's saying no, he hasn't read it. But listen, I'm gonna jump back into that Daredevil run.
Are you gonna go back and read the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's too gorgeous of a book. It's just, man, really, like I was blown away. I said, wow, like, so we're gonna have tax for the nerdies. We're gonna have tax, which we gotta figure that stuff out, man. You dropped the ball. Punisher, I haven't. You know what? I haven't heard. What was that?
I said I apologize for having a family on a holiday.
Yeah, like, what is this?
Yeah, sorry. Usually I'm like, don't talk to me. Sergio asked me to do something.
Exactly.
But this time I said, listen, I got the itis. I done ate myself into a coma.
But you know what's so funny is I didn't put two and two together. You're talking about Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh,
I'm like telling you in the morning.
We just ate. I'm like, okay, congratulations. I'm like, what is this girl going on about?
Yeah, like we don't celebrate.
I'm trying to eat with my family. I'm like,
we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but like the way my husband's schedule was, he was off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
So we cooked on Wednesday, so he could just be in a coma on Thursday.
I got you.
And so it was the way that I ate nonstop though, like all of Wednesday, Thursday. So when I tell you, I definitely barfed a couple times, but I still kept eating.
Hell.
TMI. It was holiday food.
My friend.
You gotta throw up greens at least one time where it's not the holidays.
we're gonna have a talk. I'm very concerned about you these days. Okay, Marklin. So that's what I was just saying. So it was issue 5 that I had flipped through, and I was telling Elle and everybody that is probably the most beautiful, the most impressive in terms of just the art, the coloring, and the pencils is just wow, wow. So now I'm gonna have to go back and catch up and you know, just off of the strength of flipping through, it's like, oh, I gotta read it. So you're saying it's best fight of 2022, man? Okay, okay, yeah, super cool. And then what's Paul Dick's Comics saying? I just really like how the books intertwine, and it's a war with all the different factions. Punisher in the hand. Oh, do they? So they doing like a bit of a crossover right now, eh? Punisher and Daredevil. I didn't realize that. With the Fist and Ares with Hydra. Okay,
I
okay.
also feel like a lot of the Marvel books right now start off so strong, and
Hmm.
then they lose me like
Yeah,
4 or 5 issues in. Once it
yeah.
gets a little like too complicated, like with the latest run of Venom
Hmm.
and Hulk, Donny Cates Hulk, which I think Ryan Ottman is took over, and
Right
then
on.
yeah,
Oh,
Otley,
mm,
and then or is it? It's not Stegman, it's Otley, yeah.
yeah.
And then Rom with Venom and all those, like they start the first few issues are like amazing, and then it's like, oh, now we're back to like the regular Marvel universe, and I'm like, this is too much information for me.
Yeah,
Too much going on.
yeah.
But I'd love a one shot. That whole Time of Monsters was fantastic.
Time of Monsters, which one's that?
The one that dropped last year, I think. It
Uh,
was like a one shot where it was like him over the ages. I think
shall we?
Packnadell wrote it.
Oh, Alex Pagnell. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're pitching our books. Let's do it.
My pitch is
Do
very
it.
simple. Um, Cannibal furries. You don't really need much more context there.
I knew you were gonna pick this one.
Same team from Plastic and Vinyl. Two of my other favorite miniseries,
Yeah.
especially Plastic. Plastic is perfection, perfection. And so you got this guy here who's he's concerned he might have stumbled upon a cannibalistic furry situation at a furry con, which why was he there in the first place? And he runs into like the town sheriff, and it's really funny because I mean so what's first? Like it's sheriff and then deputy. Oh, you're muted. Is it sheriff and then deputy?
I
Or?
really don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like the deputy, I guess, finds him and takes him to the sheriff because I guess that's supposed to be like his future father-in-law.
Mm.
And he was like I don't want to hear it. I don't believe you. You broke things off with my sweet baby angel daughter. And he was like, yeah, because your deputy got her pregnant. And the deputy's like, she doesn't like condoms. And it's like the funniest sequence of events. And like her dad, like at the bottom right panel, it's so funny. And again, it's like very on brand if you've read, their other books together. But yeah, cannibal furries.
Okay.
That's my pitch. Nothing much more to it than that.
There you go. You have your answer, L. We just mentioning that.
Yeah, Otley. Because I was surprised because he was the artist on it, and then Kate's I guess stepped down, and now he's taking over.
That's pretty cool. Moving on up, doing big things. So that's your push, your pick, plush number 1. And I knew you were gonna go for that one.
And I knew what you were gonna go for.
With your basic ass.
With your basic ass.
Throw out my slides. Blue Beetle number 1, graduation day. Excited for this one. We gotta ramp up. We got Blue Beetle movie dropping next year. So this one pretty straightforward. Jamie, Reyes has a lot to juggle, whether it's his finals for senior year or a new villain turning up El Paso. Jamie is always torn between two worlds. But when his worlds come crashing together at his high school graduation, nothing will ever be the same. A message from the Reach bombards Jamie's scarab, Kajida, and it starts throwing off his connection to the device. And as if that wasn't enough, Jamie's parents and friends are pressuring him about his next steps in life. But what's hidden here on Earth that's trying to reach back? And where did his new fadeaway man come from? Can Jamie find balance in his life and rise to become a true hero? Or is it curtains for the Blue Beetle? Dun dun dun. On writing duties, you got Josh Trujillo. The artist is Adrian Gutierrez, and colors Will Quintana. Letter Luis Gattoni. So pretty excited for this one. Straightforward. I need Blue Beetle content, man. We need more Latino characters, more Latino that comic book heroes and all that good stuff. So excited to check it out. Pretty
Yeah,
straightforward.
Paul, I kind of heard the same thing, and also like I follow Megan on Instagram, and like all she posts now are like the tarot polls, and I'm like, I don't think either one of them have come out with much content lately.
I'm sorry. What are you talking about?
I don't want to put the comment up because I don't want to spread rumors. Word on the street, but yeah, word on the street is allegedly Kate and Hutchison are
Oh, I
not
see that. I see
on
that.
good terms. But
Oh,
like
really? That was going on?
for like the last few months, like maybe since May, he hasn't really been posting anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has only been posting like tarot content, which is fine. Like but
tarot
also
cards?
yeah.
Oh.
And so
That's all
it's
respect. But go on. No, that sucks, man. Because his
But I also feel like with addiction and how it seemed on the public eye that the marriage was like all consuming, like he made it like a very much a new addiction, the way that he would post about things and stuff, like
Yeah.
impulsively, like it's sad, and hopefully he gets the treatment he needs if that is true.
And it's tough because being in the public eye, and he's been very vocal about
Yeah.
his struggles with addiction and stuff, and it's a theme in a lot of his books. So man, hope for the best for them and him, and everything's working out, because yeah, it can't be easy, especially you got so many people. That's why, like, I never understand people like just hating on these public creators, and like, you just chill, don't take it, you know what I mean? This
I
is
think
comics.
for him though,
Like,
it's like more
don't.
so the persona he created to
Yeah.
be like antagonistic. And so, but I think at the end of the day, I don't think that's him in real life. I think that it was kind of like a shield
Yeah.
for criticism. Like, okay, I'm just gonna act like I don't care and just kind of come off as like a little bit of an asshole.
Okay.
But I think like I get why people were a little bit turned off by his his public persona, because he was at a point where he was like just being antagonistic to himself.
Yeah. Al, can you throw up that poll, please, real quick? We'll probably
Where?
get like the one vote on YouTube's, or we can just do it in the chats.
Let's just do it in the chat.
We'll just do it in the chats, folks. What do you want to read? First
Plush.
one, Blue Beetle, or what's the other one?
I think the only one was Plush.
Plush, Blue Beetle, Blue Beetle or Plush. First one. Get out of here.
Start.
I knew you were gonna do that too. You're so basic, bro.
Is it Jamie Reyes or Jaime?
It's Jaime.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why did you whitewash it when you pitched it? You colonized his name.
Cookie sometimes.
Cookie. I would never mispronounce your name. So we're reading Plush. I'm very excited. Sergio's gonna come in costume next week. Go ahead and get that furry outfit ready.
Cookie, do me like that.
Paul
too?
Paul, a saint.
This
Thank
guy.
you.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Hey, fair is fair. Fair is fair. The people have spoken.
I actually read like the first 8 or 9 pages of Blue Beetle, and I will say that I wish that they
You
didn't.
read the first 8 or 9 pages of Blue Beetle. How'd you do that?
Yeah, they're online.
They're
They're preview pages.
Oh.
They put up like the first 8 or 9 pages.
I was gonna say.
And my thing with it is like, for me, I guess I'm just kind of tired of them having to re-explain every character every time they drop something.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do it in a way that like makes sense for this story, and it's like, okay, fine, but also like, I'm like, just that whole let's reintroduce everybody over and over again. It's exhausting.
I get it.
And I wish they hadn't have done that because I feel like it takes like 2 seconds to Google something.
Yeah.
But the coloring in it is really cool. I really liked all the different blues in it.
Yeah.
Because he is the blue beetle, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Weird that he's not the azul beetle. No.
It's Azul.
Yeah, asshole.
Azul. Azul is the villain from Ghostbusters. Azul. You're saying I'm furry.
Yeah, no, you can totally jump into this blue beetle. Not having read any of the past issues because they definitely spend time like reintroducing characters and like the concept of him through dialogue. So for me, that's what kind of threw me off because like there's a whole lot of dialogue that was unnecessary because the pages are so nice that sometimes it's like too much words.
I'm a big, that's one of my pet peeves. When like through dialogue, everything is told in a story.
Yeah.
But in like an inorganic way, like we're just here's information and we're
also it's 2022. Do you, and you could speak to this. I grew up in a pretty diverse area. I know you did too. Did you go to high school with anybody named Paco? You did?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just felt in 2022.
No,
our
that's
kids
the thing.
still
That's the thing.
Paco?
Don't hate on the Latino culture. No, 100%.
I'm not.
One of my best homies
saying...
growing up it was named Paco.
Okay. Because out here,
it's a thing. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a nickname. Elle, I'm gonna have you hold down the fort because yeah. So I'll be back in a second. How do I stop my?
No, leave it. It's okay. Leave it on.
Get out of here, you weirdo.
Furry confirmed. Ew, device is not connected. So I'll just go ahead and do my weekend review real fast then. What are you doing here? Get out of here. You are you coming back? Or you're muted, so we can't hear you. Okay, so I don't want to be full screen like that. So my number 3 pick was Vanished. And I guess it's fitting that he left because it is like, I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but like the cover on the right is kind of spoilery, the Daniel Warren Johnson cover. But my thing with Vanished too is I feel like sometimes it picks up in like the most random places and it comes on so aggressively that it's a little bit jarring and confusing narratively, but I also feel like it's so chaotic that it's like the funness of it like compensates for the lack of cohesion in the storyline, if that makes any sense. And so here we're introduced to some of the other people in the, I forget what they're called, the Hollow, and you have Wormhole, and she was half of the deadly 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 twins. I'm probably saying that wrong, but her and her brother Silkworm, who is on the other page, they were all under Vanished when all that stuff went down with dang, what's the main character's name? Not me forgetting. Yeah, it was really good. And so her power is she has like wraith magic, so she can move really fast. And then her brother Silkworm, he can like manipulate micro razors in the air, and it's kind of silly, but but it was like such a action-packed sequence of events in the beginning. And I love this page on the left, like how he's just sitting up there, no shoes on. It's definitely a flex that you could be like from a supervillain to a superhero and still get your bare feet in frame. Uh-oh. Are you muted?
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, I was just saying like this issue introduced some of the other characters from the Hollow.
What would you tell them?
I didn't say anything.
I know, yeah. I'm gonna go back on the replay. I know you said something.
I didn't, I swear.
Why are they laughing?
Why are they laughing at me?
I was cramping so bad. I was like, I can't.
You were crapping?
Cramping.
Oh, well, it's confirmed he pooped himself.
No.
I was just saying like he was going up against and it was funny because he went into the fight totally wasted, and apparently you can't summon certain magics if you're not coherent. The magic won't be summoned.
Oh.
And so he goes up against these twins who he calls fucking creepy. Essentially, that's exactly what he says. And they're trying to like reason with him, like, we're not who we used to be. You know, Vanish had us under his control. Like, people change. Like, you changed. Like, you're not the same person you were when all that. But he doesn't care because, you know, he needs to absorb as much power as he can. And so this one really kind of explored who is the villain. Like, and I like that. And I think Donnie writes those kind of stories very well. And it's also, it's co-written by Ryan Stegman too, so the duality.
Cool. I didn't realize. Right.
Yeah.
Had a co-writing credit on this one.
Yeah. And so this one was like cool. They're just introducing different characters, and they introduced this guy Battery. He does dark magic, and then there's of course there's like a twist, Donny Cates twist on the last page kind of situation.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, and again, I was just saying, like, what I love about Vanish is, like, it feels so random and so chaotic sometimes, like, where he just drops you into a situation. But it's so exciting, like, the fight scenes and all of that stuff, that like, who cares? Like, it's just, I'm into it.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my number 3.
Number 3.
My number 3. My number 2 is 8 Billion Genies.
I like that variant cover on the right there.
Yeah, it's cute. All male He-Man. Look like a man. Male body. Girls prefer. I didn't even read what it said before. It's some red-blooded.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Muscle. Hey, skinny. What the heck? Yeah, I didn't read that before. So this starts off 2 years about in the second year. I thought was so funny. The way I screamed, because it was like when you read it digitally, it's like, you know, I don't know if in physical it's a page turn, but for digital, I didn't see what happened. So when the genie got shot, I was this was the first page, so it's not a spoiler. I was upset, and I said, not the sweet baby angel genies. And then on the second page, he's like, just kidding. You can't shoot us. And so the way I screamed, because I thought that was so funny. Yeah. And in this issue, they kind of show that my number 1 it's a little bit of a cheat, but yeah. So this one kind of shows that the genies are allowed to help you without it being a wish. So like on the first page here, he tells him, hey, your shoe's untied. And he's like, thanks, and he bends over to tie his shoe, and that's when the bullet goes by, because he knew that they were about to shoot. Okay. And so they're helping them without, and so this is the same band that was in, you know, we've been following, the Bada Bangs. And I'm
confused, because you said this is 2 years. I thought they were doing it in increments.
No, it starts off in the second year, but this is 8 years. It like goes up until the 8th year. So it is 8 years, but this is like up until when that 8th year.
Okay, so storytelling wise, they're cheating a bit.
Well, no, this is just like a little pre to show you where they were at right before the 8 years.
Kind of filling that time jump.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not so okay.
And so they've left the Lampwick at this point, and they're trying to figure out like what they want to do, where they want to go, and they introduce this concept that some people get like wish constipated. And like it's like a mental block where they're so afraid to use their wish the wrong way that they just don't ever use it. And so they find themselves like in this situation where because remember, she used her wish the first issue to make one of them fall in love with her. Yeah. And so the first 8 years. So we're down to 32 million people, 350,000 genies left in this one.
That's it.
And so this issue does kind of show you what happens with like where the Zangs are and the Greens, and you know how, you know, the bartender is just in a perpetual waiting for something bad to happen. And
I gotta catch up on this series. You know,
so
I'm only like on.
you're gonna love this issue. They find this town, but unfortunately, the town is kind of it's a remnant of a town, and so the lady who wished it takes place in 1982. This town, so everything is 1982. The movie's playing, the music being played, and they're trying to get into this fun. It's called Fun City, but in order to get in, you have to have a talent, and it can't be a wished talent.
Yeah.
And so they take the next 5 years practicing, like perfecting their music and living in this 80s town. But unfortunately, it's a remnant town. So once the wisher dies, the town disappears.
Yeah, got you.
And so they're like forced back out into the world, and then they have to like audition.
What a great page.
Yeah, and it's like very cool. And then like the end of this, it's such a cool, like, I should have thought of that. Like it was very clever, but it does follow the other families too. But this was like kind of the main storyline in this issue, and I just really liked that they kind of expanded on the genies and like how the genies have essentially become like family members to a lot of these people. And they're included in the decisions, especially the ones who haven't made wishes yet. And like with the Zhangs, it's 8 years later, so their baby is like 8 years old now.
Oh, that's right.
And she's coming to the age where the genies will judge her and deem if she's ready to make a wish or not.
Now, didn't the baby have its own genie too?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so what happened with that?
Yeah. So they live in this town where it's like I think in Ohio, and it's like a farm essentially, and the town doesn't like genies, so the wife hides her genie. They don't know that the wife has a genie, and the daughter, obviously you can't hide a baby genie from, and so they're getting to the stage where they're afraid they're gonna get kicked out. So the dad is like, we're taking her to a haven where kids can't make wishes, and then the mom is kind of like, she should be able to make her own decisions. So it's a lot of like, and then it also brings up a lot of like, household hierarchy too, and like immigrant families and stuff like that. So it's really interesting dynamic. And then you have, the Greens and Sunman, or, he's being manipulated by the Idea Man, and, his mom is a remnant still, but they live in this town. I forget what it's called. So it's a lot going on, but it's still working. It's still interesting. And the next issue is the next 80 years.
Yeah. This is I see a lot of people love this book, and for good reason. Politics, comics, marketing. I see a lot of people online talking about it's gonna be fun. So for those you guys get a little very soon, we're gonna announce we have our Nerdies Awards January. So myself and Elle, we're having fun this year. It's similar to last year. We got 5 nominees in each category. Myself and I'll curate 4 of the nominees, right? And then you guys, the community, gets to write in the 5th nominee. So I'm curious to see, like the response, what the community votes in, or even regarding our picks, right? And then we have some other categories where we call them fan favorites, where I think what did we settle on, Elle? They're gonna they can write in like 2 or 3 or something like that of the nominees for like these 4 categories. Anyways, it'll be it's gonna be fun. I'm curious because it'll be like we're trying to involve you guys as much as possible and get you guys to pick the winners. And I mean, it's the winners, you guys vote on them, so regardless. But I'm always I'm really because there's so many good books out this year that I'm curious to see the books that their people are writing in and voting on. So stay tuned, very, very, very soon. And I think we're gonna do a nominations episode like we did last year.
Yeah.
And just kind of break down the categories and the nominees and stuff. And we're gonna have members of the community involved in that. So stay tuned. I think this week, if Elle gets her stuff together, and
So my number 1 is kind of a cheat. It's a story in a story from Image number 6.
Okay.
And it's World Tree by James Tynion, Fernando Blanco, Jordi Belair, and Aditya.
Okay.
Now this has been long teased. It doesn't officially drop the full first issue until 2023 spring, but the synopsis is
So how did you get your hands on this then? I don't understand.
this is a story in Image.
In Image Anthology
Yeah.
number 8, the drop.
They introduced the concept in it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
And then there's going to be a proper series.
Oh yeah, proper series in spring 20.
Gotcha.
I mean, they've been talking about this for a very long time. And I forgot that they said it was going to be in this anthology. And so when I got to it, I said, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And very exciting stuff. But in 1999, Gabriel, Amanda, Liam, Yoshi, and Darren discovered what they dubbed the Undernet, a secret architecture beneath the internet. They charted their exploration of the Undernet on a private message board called World Tree. Then they lost control and unleashed unimaginable horrors. And so for me, I love a good fresh Tynion horror. And this one, like, they're using the internet and the dark web and stuff, and like the interconnectedness of everything is so cool. I love the art style.
Dark net, so this is like, I'm feeling it already, yeah.
I love the art style. It's very, very cool vibes. And then you could go to worldtree.net right now, which I thought was like a cool touch. It's just a landing page.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's gonna be released in spring 23. But if they do anything on his Substack, please believe I'll resubscribe.
Yeah. Because
I'm so into this. I've been waiting, and honestly, it's number 1 because it surprised me because I forgot that it was gonna be in this.
Okay.
So there were other stories in this anthology issue that were good too. There was a Matt Fraction one that was really good, Casanova. That one was really good, but this one is chef's kiss.
I'm gonna read it as soon as we're done.
It's a very nice teaser.
Yeah.
Of what's to come.
How many pages?
Like 6 or 7.
So short, eh? But
it's
you know what?
a little bit longer than Witches, but
Yeah.
it's just enough to where, because I didn't even include the good panels, like the really good ones, because But also, I'm like, I love using the internet as a.
Yeah.
And especially in horror, Fear.com is one of my favorite movies. Don't tell anybody, that's a secret. I just love the idea of like using the internet to spread horror.
Yeah. Paul Dick's comics saying, "Sweet, I picked up this book. I'll read it a little later. Love Tynion. Tynion rarely misses, man.
And when he's fresh, yeah.
Like even when he misses, it's still the quality's still there. When I say miss, I don't mean like, bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just maybe not, my favorite of his stuff. I don't think he's had one bad.
Even the what's it called?
Like the Closet, is not necessarily, I've told you,
yeah,
how I feel about it, but I mean, it's still, I can appreciate, what he's done. So
Nightmare Country is good. I just got caught up on that. Casanova, yeah, that Matt Fraction story.
Did he miss on the clock? So for me, no. Markland, that was a big.
He said Elle?
That was a big miss. That was a big miss.
For me, it was probably one of my favorite. It was one of my favorite stories this year, just because of how raw it was.
Get out of here.
It was I felt like there's a lot of conversations in that book that a lot of people don't have in relationships with themselves, like even with themselves and their interpersonal relationships with loved ones and spouses. And so I thought he really captured that beautifully. And then kind of weaponizing that as like the horror element, I thought was chef's kiss.
Yeah, disagree.
It's okay.
I disagree.
There's some hard conversations you need to have.
It's a personal thing, having I do not really care for that story, but I can say it's not bad. We've had some books, some stinkers lately.
We've even had a couple Nice House on the Lakes that have been misses for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's been like 2 issues in the whole run where I'm just like, ugh.
Shout out Actual Dracula, fellow Canuck in the house. Thanks for stopping by, man. We're just wrapping up the week in review. Elle, so what made your top 3 books of the week?
Vanish number 3. 8 Billion Genies number 4 or 5,
Mhm.
and Image Anthology, or World Tree specifically.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna read that little mini in the Image Anthology because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm very into like the darknet stuff right now. Yeah. Markland, were you here earlier? Like did you read I was talking about how I read the new Doctor Strange. The new Doctor Strange and I don't know if I like it or I hate it. Politics, I got a dip. Thanks for letting me hang. Hey, thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us, man. It's fun. It's fun talking to you, and getting to nerd out on these dope books, man. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday. But yeah, for anybody still around, you know, I mentioned earlier, I don't know whether I love or I hate Doctor Strange. So I'm very very curious to hear other people's thoughts. Politics Comics was saying, yeah, he kind of felt he wasn't sure about it, confusing. Um,
I
Elle,
also feel, has there been any like word of anything exciting coming out? Like I feel like it's kind of, or maybe it's because Twitter's dead, and that's usually where I get my comic information.
no, Strange, the new Trad Moore book. He's the artist and he's the writer on that one. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, so here we go. Look,
I
we
need to
got
catch up on
actual
Detective
Dracula thing.
Comics
Trad
too.
Moore's art is definitely not for everyone, but I love it. So here's the thing, bud. I thought the art was just like it was stellar. It was beautiful to look at, And then the coloring. To actually,
Mhm.
he's not coloring his own work. I think it might be his wife or someone because she's got the same last name.
Mm.
Colors something more. But in any case, I just found the art at times really it was like a sensory overload. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. You know, I couldn't decipher it. I couldn't figure it out. So it made for a really confusing read.
Mhm.
I'm going to have to reread that one. And
Oh,
kind of
Killa comes back on Wednesday,
Philadelphia,
and Lovesick.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lovesick #2 is dropping this week.
The Approach
Yeah, that
number
was
2.
my thoughts.
The first one
I
was
found it
really
a little
good.
confusing, but
Sergio, read it.
what's that?
The Approach. I
No,
think
I
you'll
don't
like it.
want to. Don't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me.
Okay.
You're not the boss of me, ma'am. So what are we reading? What's our cover drop next week?
Plush.
Huh? Plush #1. Okay.
Plush #1. Doug Wagner.
Hit us up on the show on the socials when you read it. Curious to hear your thoughts. I mean, the art was dope, but
So I guess Sarah Lone did drop. Did you check it out?
I don't know that book, man.
Yeah, remember we talked about pitching it, but it kept getting pushed back from Sumerian.
I don't recall.
Okay.
Sarah Lone. Oh,
Sarah,
okay, yeah. From Behemoth, yeah.
Because it's saying #2 is about to drop, so I guess the first one did. I think I saw Dean post about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Okay. So looking forward to next week. Some good books. Yeah. And then we gotta get on the nerdies, the comic book awards, man. Now we gotta figure this stuff out. Who's on Pull Kings this week? Is it Marklin or Charles? Marklin, is that you, buddy? No, he did last week.
Yeah.
Did last week.
Yeah, because you remember you messed up the upload.
Shut up, my bad. Oh man. Hey, thanks to everybody
Wait,
for
they're
hanging out with us.
relaunching Miles Morales?
Are you okay,
They're
man?
starting over with the #1?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah?
I saw that.
Are you gonna check out Dark Web?
Dark Web?
It's a Spider-Man book, but I know you like dark webs, so I thought.
Yeah, it is Charles. Yeah. You're stressing me out, Elle. Before we get out of here, was there anything else? I feel like we're missing something.
Yeah, it does feel like we're missing something.
No? Regardless.
Oh, A Foulness in the Walls got pushed back again. It's not coming out until December.
I don't know what you're going on about. I'm hitting the outro.
You pitched it.
Hitting the outro. That's it, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. Please remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I think next week we're back to our regular time, 11 a.m. Eastern. I appreciate everybody who's come out, hang out with us.
I forget to set my alarm clock.
Say goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. That's enough of that.